Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Stihl FS40C string trimmer. Customer complaint is that he broke the rewind rope. So here's the rope. I don't know, I mean the length looks pretty close, maybe a little short. Let's pop this starter cover off of here and take a look at what we got. There's going to be 3 screws holding it on. This one looks a little sun faded, like it's been sitting outside. Alright, get this cover off of here, and it all falls apart. That ain't no good. Starter pawl mechanism looks alright. So there's an E-clip, or a snap ring I should say, that holds those starter pulleys in place. And that snap ring came off. So we want to inspect the stud that the snap ring goes on. It's got the groove for the snap ring, and we want to see if that's worn or damaged. And it looks alright. I don't know if the customer was in here and looking and decided, I can't fix this. But the groove on there looks good, so I'm not sure how it came apart.
Gripes.
Gripes. Alright. We got our handy dandy snap ring pliers. And we're fumbling around with a snap ring. Alright. Let's take a look at these flashlights that hit the ground. That one still works.
That one made it.
That one still works.
That one made it.
Good deal. So we're looking at the starter pulley. It's got a standard spring in it, and then it's got that easy start spring. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't know what Stihl calls it. Makes it easier to pull the string though. Pull the rope. So there's our rewind rope. Here's our spring. We got to dig the knot out of the pulley. It's in there pretty good. We're going to use a pick to grab it. So here's our new piece of rope. Now you got to be careful about the size of rope that you use. Now it's easy to say, you know, I'm going to put a thicker rope in there so that this won't happen again. But putting a thicker rope in there isn't always a good idea, because you may end up with a situation where you can't put enough rope on the pulley and then the total length is too short. And when it's too short and someone gives it a full pull on the cord, you end up breaking the rope or breaking something in the starter assembly. So I grabbed a piece of rope that I thought, you know, this isn't going to happen again if we use this rope, right? Look how narrow this pulley is though. I don't have a lot of room for winding up rope. So there it's full on the pulley, and that would only give me, you know, 18 inches of rope maybe. So I'm going to have to go with a smaller diameter rope so I can get more wraps on the pulley and more length. And then that will help ensure that when some big gorilla starts pulling on the thing, he isn't yanking the rope out and breaking it like we had the first time around. And actually, I shouldn't say the first time around, because the rope that he brought it in with isn't the original rope either. Now, something else you want to think about when you see a situation like this is why do we keep breaking the rope? And it might be because the engine itself needs a tune-up or something else going on, and they just pull and pull and pull and pull. Even something that eventually starts that just needs a tune-up, you know, that extra pulling is extra wear on that rope. And after we get this put together, we're going to try and start the machine, and then maybe we'll figure out that it does have a bit of a starting problem. So we've lined up the spring with the notch in the cover in order to get the pulley to sit all the way down. And now we're feeding the rope through the hole in the cover. One thing you want to look for is the grommet, if there is one, where the rope passes through the cover. And just look for sharp edges. You know, if you got a sharp edge there, it could be cutting on the rope. Now we're lining up the notches for this other pulley, or driver, maybe we'll call that. Getting the knot pushed down in there because it was hitting that driver. Making sure the spring is seated. There we go. Now we need to put a snap ring on here. The snap ring that was with it, it didn't have any spring left in it. It kind of, when I took it off of there, it kept the expanded position that was needed to get it to come off, and then it wouldn't contract back down to size. So we put a new snap ring on it. Now we've got our handle temporarily mounted on the cord, just so we don't lose the end of the string. And we're going to put a few wraps on this, get some spring tension on it. So now we've got some decent length to the string, and we're just inspecting to make sure that that string is actually in the pulley and not just winding up over the top of the pulley. And now we're making sure that when we pull the string all the way out, we're not bottoming the spring. With the string all the way out, you should still be able to turn that pulley a little farther. That's a little weak, but not bad. We're just going to move the knot down the string a little farther. And it looks like I'm going to use a figure 8 type knot. Burn the end so it doesn't fray. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, let's get this put back together. And we'll give it a test start. Watch the monkey put the starter back on. Let's go!
Oh, right.
you got grease over here?
Somebody tried getting me and they ended up getting you.
I'm alright with that.
What's this do? What's this do?
Alright, let's figure out how to run this thing and see if it starts.
Choke. That ain't choke.
That's all I'm going to have for you on the Stihl FS something or other. 40 maybe. String trimmer. Thanks for watching. Later.